All right, folks, it is Sunday, 21 January 2024. Getting set up for the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show. And with crazy stuff coming out of Willie later on tonight. Can't wait. So, as we get ready for the folks over in Censorship Sucks, we will be getting ready here and waiting for them to start the call real soon. So hang tight, folks. It's a little early. Go grab yourself a drink, some sandwiches or whatever. Get comfy. It's going to be a great night. Hey there, Cecilia. Over on the Kick Chat, where's Marco at? Well, Marco will be in shortly, probably. Look out, cats, dogs, and kids. Won't be long. Hope you all are having a great night tonight because it's going to get even better because we're here. That's right, we are here. The Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show pre-show, and then we will, at the top of the hour, go into the actual show, which is a 2-hour show. You are going to be amazed with all the great content that they have for you tonight. Like to thank our platforms out there and all the people out there on the platforms. Appreciate it. Big shout outs to all my mods from all the different platforms. I appreciate you and all the hard work that you do, whether you just do the shows, the live shows, or whether you come in during the week and help out during the daily shows on some of the other platforms. Now, I don't broadcast always on the other platforms daily. So if you catch me on a daily platform, well, we're going to have a great time. I got all sorts of old time radios type stuff. And I added a lot of new content tonight, too, that will be added into that starting tomorrow. And maybe even later on tonight. Yeah. Well, you are the best on Sunday night, Cecilia. So wherever you're at, whether you're in the Kick Chat, whether you're on Facebook Chat, whether you're over on the Twitch Chat, I really appreciate all the hard work that you do. Thank you very, very much. Mm, 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 mm. Where's those censorship sucks guys, anyways? They should be coming in anytime, like right now. Hold on. Join in the call. Mm-mm. All right, here we go.
Knocks on the door, and the guy sees his uniform and just slams the door on him.
Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys
That's
doing
terrible.
tonight?
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, what's
Mark.
up, bro?
You are.
Yeah, we're all up at
Yeah.
7:30. Can you believe it?
Yeah, it's great. Love it.
I love
So I
it,
got a
man.
problem, Mark. Next week, like I've you know, most of my life, I haven't watched too much football in the last few years, but now the Lions are like suddenly they're the final four teams,
Yeah,
right?
you were
So I have
talking
to
to
watch
me
this
about
shit.
that
I have
before.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
if they go, I was telling you, if they go to the Super Bowl, I'm definitely taking off the Super Bowl Sunday.
yeah. So
Right.
is it going to be Yotivation or Barry taking over? I think Barry would be good because
Well,
he's right here with you every Sunday night and Wednesday night, unless he's going to the
yeah, no, that's
party
fine.
with you.
And we can get like another regular in here. Maybe we can get what's his name, Doc Torrey
Yeah.
or someone like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Or
to
Kimmy,
fill
or
in.
Kimmy,
Well,
or
you know
Kimmy
But
Trail.
yeah,
you
I
know
might
who
even.
joined my
Yeah, chemtrails would be great.
Chemtrails joined my D Live this week. And he was like, "Why aren't you on there?"
cool.
And I said, "Well, I kind of got banned on D Live, but I'm back on D Live tonight. Um, I missed some copyrighted music, I guess. So
Okay.
I got nailed for that.
But
So sorry, folks, but that happens. I mean, especially if you do a 24-hour stream like I do, any other time. Just to
Was
put
it
a
just
little
like
bit
a
out.
like a three-day ban or something?
I was gone like on Wednesday, right after the show, on Thursday morning.
I mean, how long did they ban you though?
No,
You're back now,
since
right?
then I got on tonight. Tonight's my first night back.
okay, to finish my point though, I may not be here on time next week.
Okay.
In other words, they're next week, and it starts at like I don't know 5 o'clock my time, and show starts at 7. So I might be late next week too, and then be fine the week after. Hopefully Super Bowl week too. So anyway, but it's you got to do. This is once in a lifetime kind of shit for me.
Yeah. And
And I never miss a show, so
and you never miss a show, and you guys always ask for more. So taking time off. Well, hey, we do that. If I need to put a replay on,
yeah.
I can do that. But I don't like to do that. You know me.
And I have like such little confidence. I'm almost positive they're going to lose now.
You have
But
so little confidence in
if they win, I want to watch it, man. I want to watch them win. If they're going to win and go to the Super Bowl, man, I got to watch that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I was hanging out with my buddy. He's got this like 55-inch TV. It was perfect, man. Made steaks, really good steak.
Well, I'm back on D Live. I dropped Telegram, okay, but I picked up Daily Motion. So we
okay.
we will get Daily Motion. We will be on
Daily Motion. I've heard of them before. They're kind of like a YouTube sort of, right?
Yeah, but they don't do live. What I'm going to do is I'm streaming live to them, and then when it's done, they'll put it up as an event. Okay. And it's kind of like the old video bash where, they just keep pushing it, and and you get more and more, uh, you know, people looking at your stuff by doing that. So that's good.
Cool.
I used to be on. I used to upload to them all the time until they were like, "Well, you have to take and only do 1 hour shows." And I'm like, now I'm finding out that if you do a stream to them, that goes out the window. Okay, to upload is a 1 hour show. So we're gonna do that.
Hey, what's the difference between Dreg Productions and Dreg Productions radio shows on Rumble? Oh, yeah. What's the difference between the two?
Dragus Productions, where?
Is it Drake and Gus?
There's no Drake and Gus. There's a drunk
What's the
old
difference?
man. There's
Is
a
one of them
drunk
just
old man
when you started first? Or?
that he claims is Willie's long lost uncle, sister's cousin's college roommate, but that ain't working out. You know how that is. That's just him saying that one of the monkeys is that he named after. I'm like, no, Willie, you ain't doing that kind of shit. No.
Well, you got another new subscriber, a couple again on Dragus Productions radio shows on Rumble. But like I said, what's the difference between these two here on Rumble? You have two channels.
Well, one is like me personally, and the other one is the actual platform. Okay? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
Can't believe you guys are going to just talk and not even acknowledge it.
There's not two Dragus Productions, okay? There's only one Dragus Productions, but one is me personally when I post. Okay, that's the one that isn't the productions. I mean the radio shows. That's just me. But when I take and post those radio shows, that's for everything.
Okay.
Okay. Kind of like what I do on Facebook, my personal. I keep my personal stuff separate from my, the radio
from your show
stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Yotivation.
Hello, fellas.
Oh,
Yotivation.
I updated all the slides. We've got new slides, and we got new stream stuff tonight as well.
Hey, Mark, the last couple of shows I've listened to, there's been like a AI commercial that comes on in the middle of, at the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
There's the intro, then we talk for a little bit, and then there's like a little commercial at the beginning that goes over our talking.
Really? Where?
Yes.
Yeah, it's... I don't even
platform?
share those out anymore.
On what platform?
I just share the live stream out because...
Because what?
It happens periodically.
There's just, there's stuff, weird stuff like that. Heck, get in there, like it just...
Well, I know if you send it out on Rumble, they always put, or even YouTube or anything else, most of the other platforms put ads in front now. And then sometimes they'll add it in between, over. And they'll let you keep talking and block it out. Huh?
What it looked like to me was whatever the video was that you were playing on the edit was also the audio was spinning. That's what it seemed like to me, but I could be wrong on that. I don't know, because it would pop up kind of every now and then. Not very often. I don't notice it very often, but sometimes, and it would only be for 30 seconds or something. Like there was one with an airplane and you could hear the planes going by, but it was, I think, a little bit lower than our voice. But I mean, I would imagine as much editing as you're doing and doing it late at night is hard. I mean, I would see, I was thinking it would be hard not to mess up every now and then a little bit like that.
No, there's nothing coming through at that hour. I'm telling you that right now. Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
It's one of our own commercials that we generated.
Really?
Yeah, it's like the...
And doing it late at night is hard.
Before the show, when they're waiting for it to come on.
It would be hard not to mess up every now and then a little.
Yeah.
bit like
No,
that.
It's like a loop.
There's nothing coming.
Of like Joe Biden is on there.
Oh, is it
Joe.
is it that
David Hogg one?
yeah, that David Hogg
Yes.
clip? Okay.
Yes.
I might need to take that out then.
Yeah, that
And
it's
replace
toward
it.
the beginning. But
Hey, Mark, have you ever noticed that? I don't know if you think it's cool or not. I think it's kind of cool, but you might not like it because of whatever copyright reasons. But I noticed on like BitChute that there's other people copying your content, and they're getting like 40 or 50 likes as well. A
Yeah,
couple
they're not
different
allowed
people
to do that.
are huh?
If you find that, you tell them. They said if I find them, I'll sue their ass.
Okay.
Because all my content after I make it, even the raw, is copyrighted.
Yeah, if you go to BitChute and you type in Dregus Productions and just scroll down, there's I think a guy named Hoopla and some other guy. I can't remember what his name is, but
You know, you
he'll
give 'em fair
copy the
warning.
shows and post it.
You-
It is getting more. It's getting views. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the only good thing about it.
Now,
But
if they're
I
sharing
was
it out,
I was thinking it might not be good if for copyright purposes.
hmm I can show them that too, and it's not share alike either. It's
Mm-hmm.
that's why it says at the beginning of every show, without the consent of the producer or host, you can't
Express
use it.
written consent.
Right, express written. Yeah,
And
that's on
signed
all
by Joe
shows.
Biden himself.
Did I do? Mhm. You might want to, the next time you see those guys do that, you might want to say, "Hey, have you listened to the very beginning of this, where it says the express?"
Yeah. I think they probably play that as well. I don't think they cut it out or anything. They just like repost it up pretty much. I think
Yeah,
in
I
full.
doubt they do.
They just post it up there in full.
No,
But
everybody.
I think
on
the thing that shocked me was that it was getting views. I was like, wow.
more than
There's just
more
a
than
random
mine?
person, posting it up.
Yeah, different person posting it up. Yeah.
Man, we've had some cold, so I'm looking forward to that. It's supposed to be like 40 or 50 and come Wednesday. But until then, man, I did not want to get out today. It was too cold, man. I had to get out a little bit, but
Wait, it's going to warm up to 40 or 50?
supposedly, yeah, that's pretty warm for right now.
Oh, God. I didn't know it's cold there.
Hmm?
I figured Oklahoma, you guys are like in the south.
No. He's
Well,
like
I mean,
I
we've
didn't
got a
think it
pretty
got that
warm
cold.
summer, but we've
Central
also got a pretty
Midwest
cold winter.
Oklahoma. Come on now.
Say what, Mark?
Central
Yeah,
Midwest
but I mean,
is
like little
Oklahoma.
spells of.
I mean, we've had a pretty mild winter so far. We've maybe only had 4 or 5 days that have been super duper cold. Hopefully we can escape a lot of that. We used to have blizzards here, man. I mean, like, blizzards, like snowed in. I don't know how many feet high of snow, but it's been pretty mild. Like that climate change isn't really happening too much here in Oklahoma.
No. Yeah, I say the same thing when I get triple digits down here.
Yeah, it does get hot, but we're not even having the kind of heat we used to have either. Man, I can remember, like 10, 12, 13 years ago, we were having 113, 115 degree weather in a totally the humid Oklahoma weather. Plus, that was not the heat index. That was the actual temperature. And I was riding my bike everywhere at that time. So it was probably more than 10 years ago. But, yeah, my bike was my only transportation back then, and I was riding my bike in 115 degree weather.
yeah.
That's crazy.
I know, man.
Yeah.
I tell you what, though, it was the best thing that could have ever happened to me because it kept me, it put me on that path to better health and wellness, man. It made me have to, and then it became a habit. And then once it becomes a habit, you can't stop doing it.
And I bet the breeze felt good if it was that.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was, when it was nice, it's wonderful, man. I love biking. Biking is awesome, man. Hiking, biking,
We've had
jogging,
over
sports, you name it, man. I love it all. I have not been able to get in much this week. I only got in one jog and one hike, so. Do what?
It's been rainy and overcast for the last like 3 days. And tomorrow's supposed to rain and tonight a whole bunch. And
man.
It's just gloomy, man. It's like 4 days of overcast. It's like I haven't had overcast in a long time. I'm not used to this anymore. This is my feeling here. It's like brutal. I mean, granted, it's like 68, and it was like 40% humidity the other day, man. Which meant, it stays warm at night, which is nice, but
it's 15 here.
It's what? 15, 16?
15, yeah.
All right, let me tell you what it is here in big Oklahoma. Let me tell you what the current temperature is right now. So we will find out. Just one click on the computer here, or maybe two. I don't know. I'll give you the forecast. Okay, it's not bad right now. It's 28 degrees, but still, let's see. Tomorrow's going to be 35. Tuesday's going to start heating up to 44, and then Wednesday, 55. Thursday, high of 60. So yeah, that's going to be very, very comfortable, man. After this, because we got down to 9 degrees last week, so
man,
maybe colder than that. That was just the last time I checked.
It's 59 here.
Oh man, that must be rough, dude. That must be really rough.
Well, it's I'm telling you, it's going to rain all day tomorrow. 59, 53, with rain all day, like an inch and a half. It's brutal. But then the sun comes out in mid 60s and 70s for the rest of the week.
It dries up all the rain.
Yeah.
The itsy bitsy spider went up the.
It's kind of cool when it rains here because there's all these rivers that pop up out of nowhere,
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
And the washes. Yeah, it's like you didn't really.
You better not be cutting out already, dude.
He is. I heard him already earlier, before Yodavation came in. Yep.
Oh, by the way, man, I wanted to tell you something. I got it on tape too, so don't try and weasel out and go, "Oh no, that wasn't me. I didn't do that, Barry. Oh no, I would never do that. Never, 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 never." Dude, you farted while I was talking, man. I got it on tape, dude. Don't even try to pretend like. Yeah, it came out, dude. I heard it perfectly.
That was Eric Swalwell, dude. That wasn't me.
I had to play it back. I was like, did he just fart while I was talking? How rude. I think I'm going to actually go back into the edit and I'm going to like highlight it and boost it and say, this is what censorship sucks. Thanks about me on the radio show. Man has no respect, man. I think you squeezed it out too. You were like, I heard a little rustling around. I mean, wasn't like it was like, accidental.
Yeah.
Hello to all you listeners out there. It's the pre-show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not live on the air right now.
Oh, I chatted with David Hogg just for a moment, not very long, but he said that there were many times he wanted to come on, but he couldn't have access to Skype. And I told him the same thing happened to me. Yeah. Remember, Willie got locked out, I got locked out, and we were both late for the same show, and it probably happened to him around that same time also. So I told him I had to start a new account, and I put the link in our Minds chat. So I said, it's here. When you're ready, come over.
Just give him a link. He doesn't need to have Skype to get into the room. You just need the link.
Yeah, he can come in as a guest, right?
I've done that before myself.
Yeah, that's how you do all the time, Barry.
Yeah.
Come in as a guest. And then still no avatars.
I can't do the avatar with the guest, but then when I try it with I've downloaded the program, and then every time it shows my name, I can't get it off there. I'm gonna have to probably take it off, and like you said, set up a different account or just try it again.
I signed it. I just changed my name on Google. I changed the name here.
Oh yeah.
I like that because now when I go everywhere, I get a different name.
I'll go to this.
So anytime I use
called,
any app that I connected,
have you guys ever
they
been
think my name's
to
John.
Spain? 'Cause I kinda like
have you guys ever been to the site libertydaily.com, thelibertydaily.com?
No.
It's a great site, man. It's looks exactly like Drudge Report did or does still. And it's just real news versus the fake news. And every now and then I'll be looking at it thinking it's Drudge Report, and I'll be like, wow, man, the fake news is reporting real news now. And then I go, oh, it's just Liberty Daily. But it looks exactly like Drudge. And it's got like articles from basically all the alternative media. Now you see the European Union saying that they're going to basically cancel X if they don't take off the alternative media on Twitter because it's misinformation.
Yeah, well, I think X should cancel Europe and just be like, you know what, we're out. We don't need
I don't
you.
think he's going to care. I don't think he cares. He's like the richest guy in the world again. So why does he need them? They need him. You know what I'm saying? Their bullying days are over, man.
It piss off every European that uses X too. I mean, you really want to piss off people, take away X. You know, that's what he would in effect be doing. He'd say, hey, your government sucks. You can't. They don't think you can handle X, so we're going to close it down. And you know, if you got a problem with it, take it out with your government. You know how many angry calls they would get the next day?
Oh yeah. Well, it just would further expose, how corrupt they are. And that'll just wake up more people. They just have no real path to victory. Everything that they do to show their true colors just is going to make them look worse and worse. So it's like, go for it, man. And look, I don't know if you've noticed this, but everybody's standing up to the woke tards now, to the wokeness and the derangement and the delusions. I was watching Dana White just slam this guy who was just some woke reporter asking, put a leash on your all your fighters, like what to say. He goes, I don't tell anybody what to say. He goes, we don't do that here. It's called free speech. He said, man, it's free speech. And and then I saw Seinfeld slam this guy recently that was asking him about, well, you don't seem to have any black people. So the tide is totally turning, man. I mean, nobody's taking the crap anymore. And I knew that moment was coming because they become so relentless and they get more and more insane. Eventually people just say, man, I'm done. I've had enough. And that's the place we're at right now. And that's a great place to be because we're going to witness the turning of the tide.
Speaking of that, did you happen to catch that guy, Kevin Roberts, at the WEF Davos, I think?
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's another great point, Yotivation. There was a couple of people. Well, we played on the Wednesday show, Melee.
What were you saying? Censorship?
Some guy, he just totally slammed him. He said, we're not going to go the globalist way, period.
Yeah. The CEO of some company, yeah. You guys have the problem.
That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're going to see way more of that in 2024.
No, we are the solution. The problem with this solution, damn it.
Let's turn the tide. Let's turn this tide, man. I knew we were going to get brave. I knew we were going to be strong. I knew it was coming, man. That's been our job, Yotivation, is just to be bold, and then that's just contagious, and then other people catch on, and then before you know it, everybody's doing it.
Oh my gosh, yes. If I think back to when I really first started, speaking out, compared to what it is now, in the beginning, it was really like you were in the trenches fighting with these evil people. And now they're not around so much. And in fact, they're much more inquisitive, ask more questions and allowing, for a dialogue, which is very hopeful. There's a lot of people that don't agree with, and we are able to have a lot of posts back and forth. And, it's good because it helps other people, talk it through. And I don't know if I'm changing any minds, of the particular type, but I have definitely seen a huge change in people's acceptance of the things that we say.
Mm-hmm.
They used to come back and say, "Oh, it's a conspiracy theory."
Oh yeah.
But then all the conspiracy theories started to come true, and we had a paradigm shift.
Mm-hmm. What was it Elon Musk said? What conspiracy theories have not come through yet? Or haven't come to pass yet? There's
Right.
more that have come to pass than haven't.
Yeah. What have the government censors been right about?
Not
Yeah.
much, man. That's
They
why they
call
want to
Facebook
censor
and
because they're wrong about
Instagram
everything.
frenzy. Oh, yeah. No, wrong. We're not wrong. We're malicious.
You are cutting out bad, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sound like a horn.
Right.
They put a thing over the end of the horn, wah, 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 wah.
All right. Well, I can do other than just fade out because I'm like halfway to the next town. I like drive so far out of town to get good reception. But this is like a
Man, it just sounded like you were just skipping right there.
It's really frustrating trying to figure out what you're saying when it's doing that. It's really hard. It's like I caught that word. Okay, I didn't catch that one, but I caught that word, and the brain's trying to piece it together, and it ain't working.
It's like Charlie Brown's teacher.
Wah, 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 wah. Okay, I'm getting in a standing position, ladies and gentlemen.
It's showtime.
30 seconds.
Well, I don't even
Ready,
talk
ladies
tonight.
and gentlemen,
That's
just
what
in
I
case I
sound
gotta
like.
break out.
I mean, should I even do the intro?
Yes, you should. You sound
like-
all right now. Just always hold the phone up to your mouth, maybe, and I don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean,
Are
I
you
just
close?
And
Are you
here
close
we
to the
go
mic?
with the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're live and on the radio side right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show Sunday Night Edition, where we hang out, talk about everything going on in the world, and just in general have a good old time. Tonight, as always, we've got with us Yotivation Nation. How you doing, Yo?
Wonderful. Hello, everyone.
And Bullhorn Barry. How you doing, Barry?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Witnessing the paradigm shift.
Woohoo.
So let's start out with the big story from today. Ron DeSanctimonious is no longer Ron DeSanctimonious. He is now simply Ron DeSantis because he dropped out of the race and endorsed Donald Trump. So he went from a zero to a hero. That's all it took. Nikki Haley, on the other hand, well, I got quite a bit to say on her in a little bit. But Yotivation, what do you think? Is he going to win now?
I don't know. It's possible with President Trump. He's a negotiator, and if he thinks that it will get, more of Americans drawn together, he'll probably do it. But he kind of indicated that he's not 100%, that whoever he has in mind right now is about a 25% shot. And I feel like he's trying everybody out at these little rallies that he's having. He had Tim Scott, Vivek Ramaswamy, Lee Zeldin, Elise Stefanik. So I think he's trying everybody out just to see what'll happen, how people respond.
Yeah, Barry, do you think, I mean, DeSantis had to go, right? It's just like he did it basically as soon as he could. I mean, he knew this was over months ago.
Yeah, I think he was just looking for an out. He just did not look like himself at all for the last couple of months. I mean, he always used to look sharp and sound sharp, and he just started looking like Alfred E. Newman from Mad Magazine and just totally broken and defeated. It's like he needs to get out.
He shouldn't have run, but yes,
Yeah.
he got out. Supporting President Trump is the right thing to do.
And I think that I was having a conversation around the table the other day with about 4 or 5 people. We were talking about Trump and everybody running, and everybody agrees that Trump's a blowhard and kind of annoying, but he deserves it.
Oh, yeah.
But Vivek is somebody that we all sort of agreed, it's too soon to really totally trust him, but he's got more positivity around him. He can make the same arguments and fight like Trump does, but he doesn't have to stoop to name calling immediately, which really makes him much more likable in some ways, you know. So I think Vivek has got a really good chance at it, a really good shot.
Yeah, I think you're right, because Vivek would also bring over a young, fresh, voters. And but the thing about Vivek, because he says the right things, as far as I'm concerned, I love when he says things right to the media's face and, about taking out the deep state. I love hearing that stuff because that's what I want. But I also understand he's the founder of a pharmaceutical company, and he made all his money, not all of it probably, but a good majority of his money from COVID shots. And then he used that money to run for president. And that is kind of shady to me.
Very, very, very shady. I wasn't aware of the COVID relationship. I knew he had a pharmaceutical company, but I to this, really wasn't sure, don't know, or, other than what you've told me, what percentage of the company did what.
Yeah, as apparently he cashed in a lot on that. So that's something people can look into.
Mm-hmm. And he's not a billionaire. I think he's in the hundreds of millions.
I don't know.
That sound about right?
I think he might be a self-made millionaire. Let's just see if we can find out.
Because, the guy's got the money. He's got, everything. He's just, man, to go into politics at a Republican age, you're looking 40, 50 years of being demonized. Trump doesn't really care about a 99-year sentence in jail because he's 80-something years old. Vivek, that's actually, and he might actually do 80 years.
Yeah, but hopefully that'll never happen. I hope the good guys take over.
Well, he will go to jail. No, Trump will be.
That still wouldn't stop him if he did. I think
in one of these cases, they're going to come back verdict.
I think he'd get even more supporters. According to Forbes, Vivek Ramaswamy is a billionaire.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah,
I did not.
Just $1 billion, though.
Yeah, just $1 billion.
It just said he became a billionaire, and this was from August of 2023. Let's see.
Okay. But they always say the first billion is by far the hardest.
I would imagine that's so.
God.
I don't see him picking Vivek, though. That's just my opinion. I think that would be too big of a chance for him. He's too young and inexperienced. I think he'll go with somebody like a Tim Scott or a Ben Carson or perhaps a Kerry Lake. I think are more a safer bet for him. But we'll see. I mean, who knows? He may have some other trump card up his sleeve that's somebody we haven't thought of.
Or, I would love for it to be Kerry Lake.
Yeah, I would too. The two of those, Kerry Lake and Vivek, both bring to the table the ability to cut down anybody in the tracks instantly with a phenomenal argument that just makes them look like an idiot, Yes. Whereas, Tim Scott, not so much, many of the other people on these lists, DeSantis, no, right? They just don't have that ability to do it in a way that Kerry Lake and Vivek do it. you know.
Yeah, when Tim Scott came out, I felt like we were at a football rally, you know, because he's like, hey, 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 Trump, Trump, Trump. And everybody was cheering. But it just felt like he was just like a jock coming out and getting everybody pumped up. But he didn't have much substance to what he was saying.
Well, vice presidents don't really do that much.
You know,
these
the
days.
first thing.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
yes.
Kamala Harris doesn't do anything.
And, you know, President Trump was saying that that's
in this
not
case,
even...
though, if Trump does...
Go ahead.
Well, I was being facetious, man. So don't take that too seriously.
No. But President Trump said that, you know, that he doesn't think that the vice president is that big of a deal for the, you know, running. And so he was going to hold on to that information and he would share it if he felt like it in the next couple of months. But that's if he felt like it. So it's up in the air still.
Yeah, I could see that. That
And-
makes sense.
All of these trials and potentially sitting in a jail cell for part of this election cycle, it could be very important for him to have a real, true fighter on his hand outside. On the outside, can do bidding for him while he's tied up, so to speak.
Yeah. And, you know, it could hinder things. I highly doubt it. I think it would only bolster it. But even if so, President Trump would still work. He would work just as hard as he, you know, always ever has, and probably harder. Because I see him, he's out there doing these rallies right now. Even though he is so far ahead, it is that important to him. And so he has an incredible schedule, and I would think it's impossible to keep up with him. Because fighting the bad guys is
man, all those campaign stops, all that work, all those campaign stuff, everything, and then you get a job and you got to work even harder. It takes a lot of fortitude to even work this job, frankly.
Yeah, and like you were saying earlier, President Trump has skin in the game too, you know. He is invested. He paid to be our president. He lost money and he got attacked daily. I don't even know another man who could withstand everything that President Trump has been through. They fought him with everything that he had, and he's still standing and still wants to be a president. So I think that's huge. And we know what we're going to get with him. We have a history, and it is a good one. And I would love to get back to the, you know, booming economy and everybody, really everybody doing better.
Yeah, we need it. We need to get that economy rolling again. And I mean, day one, we're going to start drill, baby, drill again. We're going to clean up this problem with, you know, the Houthis trying to, you know, stop the Red Sea and decide who gets to use the Suez Canal. That's ridiculous to me. I can't believe the world is allowing them to do this. You know, it's obstructing so many different shipping companies now that have to go all the way around Africa because these tribal boneheads, you know, got a hold of these drones that can shoot missiles at ships. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So we clean all that up, put America on track again to be successful. And we just need that. We need that. We are so far down the wrong path right now. It's ridiculous. And Biden, he's out there saying, you know, we're going to clean up that border now. We got a problem at the border. We're going to clean it up. What? What? You're campaigning now? You're going to say that? You're a fool. You're an old fool. But I don't know. I don't want to be an ageist. But, you know, the guy is senile. He's way past his due date. And it's just time to move on as a country. And even like the Black community, the Hispanic community, they all are starting to see it. The God the other day came out and said, you know, he can't support Biden.
Yeah.
I mean, he ain't black.
Didn't he say that it was because he basically was, you know, suffering from cognitive decline and couldn't put a sentence together? Wasn't that what he said? I can't remember exactly, but we were talking about that on the show on Wednesday about how the left can't even admit, the mainstream media can't admit that Joe Biden is suffering from cognitive decline, possibly late stage dementia. They can't even admit it. I mean, it's like they're in massive denial because they just don't want Trump to be in there. So they can't, they just pretend like he's totally fine. And oh, it's his age. It's not that he can't think or speak anymore. It's just his age.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets up there and he says things like, you'll need an F-16 to go against the government. How many times has he said something like that? And I'm like, the words of a conscience, you know? It's like he's the one who's putting that message out there.
And he said it in relationship to them wanting to take away your AR-15s. So he's like, you can't even need it to fight the government. You're wrong. It won't do anything in F-14s or whatever, right? So hey, we're going to take away your guns, and you know, if you think you can fight us with those, you're wrong. You can't even do that. I mean, what a blatant, you know, I want to take away your Second Amendment right. And then he says you can never, you know, you're never allowed to own a cannon. Think about it. Think about it, folks. You're never allowed to own a cannon. You know how many cannons I've seen Rick Harrison, porn stars? Like dozens. Just go to YouTube, Rick Harrison cannon, and see how many videos pop.
And then they also
say you can't own a cannon.
People from January 6th took over, or, you know, an insurrection, which we know is insurrection, but with no weapons at all, you know, and supposedly they were taking over, trying to take over the government. So, I don't know. Yeah. He's definitely a wackadoodle, and he shouldn't be there. None of us should be living through any of what we're going through right now. He's an illegitimate usurper. It's a fact. There's so many ways that guy cheated with the help of foreign interference. And the fact that there's still so many people who are covering for him and not doing something about it when they know as well as I do that this man is treasonous for a number of reasons. Look at I'm going to say illegal alien invasion. He's aiding and abetting foreign invasion on our own soil. There's so many ways. Human trafficking. This guy should not be in there making any decisions, especially considering his mental capacity. But I think that's all a show too. I think he totally to do exactly what he's doing.
Did you an independent reporter on the border, buddy, like his name and where he's from, and the guy responds by saying, "Everyone will know my name soon."
Yes.
I will. Like he was alluding to like wanting to do some sort of a terrorist attack where everyone would know who he is.
Yes.
Kind of scary stuff. How many people like that are getting over that order on a daily basis? It took people to do 9/11.
Right.
So, you know, what can 19,000 people do? What can 190,000 people do?
Right.
1.9 million people.
There's millions.
How many
and
terrorists are in
millions.
America? A million?
Millions.
Well, 10 million just since Biden got into office is the number I'm seeing, you know, and I think it's probably way higher than that. But how many of them are straight up terrorists that came here with ill intent? You know, being sent from powers that be in other nations, China, you name it, to come here and do harm on the American people. There's a trigger word, you know, when you see Chairman G say this statement, that you're, you know, cue to go do this, to go, you know, poison the water supply in all these major cities, to cut power chances down, to you name it. It could really do incredible damage in a short amount of time. Fires. My Lord, we already have a problem with fires because we
and whenever they don't have jobs, and they, you know, can't afford things, or, you know, things aren't going well for them making the transition over here, which we see because the government's incompetent or they're doing it on purpose, one or the other. And then they start, you know, starting cop cars on fire, breaking, you know, the windows in businesses. I just saw a video of them doing that. I believe it was in, you know, where all these so-called illegal immigrants coming over, they're disgruntled because they've, you know, with their life there. And so they just go and start they don't have to do active terrorism. They just go out and start, being violent and stirring things up. And that scares people because they were like, man, I used to be able to walk the streets and be safe. And now, that's not always the case. Do I want to bring my child out in this? Because remember, sometimes the child gets stabbed. Remember that one incident we talked about on the radio where that crazy refugee stabbed a child or a couple of children? I mean, it's not safe in these areas where
there was a couple instances like that.
Oh, yeah. And I'm sure
that
more
happened
that just
in
didn't get reported
Ireland.
as well.
That happened in Ireland, and everyone, Gregor and everyone were really pissed about it. But it also happened in France like weeks earlier, where a dude just stabbed a couple babies. Stab them. Really, babies.
Dang, dude. Absolutely insane and evil. Hard to believe it's going on in the world.
Yeah.
And it's hard to believe that people just think unfettered, unchecked illegal immigration is a good thing at any level. When you look at all the child sex trafficking, the child labor, illegal child labor that's going on, all the drugs and the fentanyl that's coming in, the potential terrorists, disgruntled, refugees coming over that are going to probably, rape women. I'm not saying they're all bad. I'm just saying this, you get a few of those that do that and way too many that do it. And so they're creating the crisis that we've talked about. We talked about they want catastrophe after catastrophe, crisis after crisis. And even Yuval Noah Harari said they can do things through catastrophes that they couldn't do apart from them. So they like the crisis. They say never let a good crisis go to waste. And only psychopaths would admit these kind of things out in the public because it's easy to kind of read between the lines with what they're saying. And then they call us a conspiracy theorist. Well, no, you're saying crazy stuff. And the only logical reason is because you are controlling and manipulating these world affairs and causing all this problem on the whole world. You're a bunch of psychopaths. That's what's going on at the Davos, man. It's still, all the crazy stuff that's come out of that, new revelations, new knowledge about what their plans are for society, how they hate X, how they want to shut X down. I mean, they got to shut down all misinformation and disinformation. In other words, alternative media. They're coming for everything, man. They're not going to succeed, but they're going to come for everything, man, because they love the power that they got out of the shamdemic and they want more of it, man. When you taste that kind of power, that level of power, it is, makes you have an insatiable appetite for more of it.
Right. And they're pushing things that we, the people, obviously do not agree with. So the normal way that we've been taught, that we have a vote and we get to decide isn't working anymore. They decided that we're too stupid to decide because we're not going along with what they want us to do, which is why they're trying to keep President Trump off the ballot and, arrest the opponent and that kind of stuff. It's just total craziness where we're living right now.
Mm-hmm. And the sad part is, and I bring this up a lot, is here's an article from Brian McGlinchey via Stark Realities. And he talks about how, everyone's freaking out over this next election, but we shouldn't be. The presidential election should almost be inconsequential. Okay? Federal powers enumerated in the Constitution are restricted to external objects as war, peace negotiations, foreign commerce, things like that. The powers reserved to the several states will extend to all the objects, which in the ordinary course of affairs concern the lives, liberties, and properties of the people. Okay, so the federal government should be defending the border. Okay, there's war that breaks out in another country, and we have war. That's the federal government. Issues, negotiations, things like that. All this other stuff they do, everything else they do is not enumerated in the Constitution. Oh, it was.
You're cutting out, man. Pretty bad, man. Pretty bad.
Here. Okay, take over.
Yeah. I was just about this whole Davos thing that's been going on, man, and all these people over there and all the weird stuff that they've been saying. And they really have plans to execute, in all of the nations around the world, because they're really good at disseminating their plans through their proxies and their plants that they have in the government. You know, like Schwab said, you know, they've got, you know, half of the parliament in Canada under their control. And, you know, it may be more or less depending on the nation, but they've got plants in the United States. There were political figures from the United States over there at Davos, as well as celebrities showing up there. I saw some photos. I don't know if it was from this year, but one of the years, I think it was from this year, where Sting was there, will.i.am was there. And they talk about having these wild parties, these wild sex parties with $2,500 call girls, and they're snorting coke and having wild parties and expensive parties. You know, it's funny. They want to eat all that organic beef and all that quality food while we beg for, you know, grasshopper wings and a grub worm or two. That's their idea of, you know, our future. But I can promise you this, that if they ever were to get their liberal world order, they would be living high on the hog the entire time. They would fly around in their jets. They would drive in their cars wherever they wanted to. They would eat the best of food. They would party like it was 1999. They would have call girls. They would be living lavishly and recklessly because that's who they are. These are not people who want to solve problems, the world problems. What do you think about that, Yotivation?
Well, I think you're right. And nobody elected those people to decide the direction our future should hold. But I'm hopeful, because I'm sure you saw Kevin Roberts, president of the Heritage Foundation, and he went over there and he said right to the global elite's faces that they're part of the problem. And he was talking about topics like the mass immigration, climate change, China. He hit on so many different topics. And he said when he mentioned China, he could see people were just, you know, dumbfounded that these words were coming out of his mouth. People laughed in the middle of him talking. And so that man is brave. You talk about courageous people, you know, being contagious. What he just did sent ripples, because he went there and he wasn't afraid. And he said, this is when President Trump gets in there, this is what you'll have to look forward to. And I think all of them are freaking out over there.
Absolutely. And he let them know that global government was not a, you know, was probably the biggest threat. He called it collectivism, but he basically meant global government. And I think we were talking about this off air. I think there's been a kind of a turning of the tide when it comes to us being fed up with all the just nonsense and insanity, all of the wokeness, all the tyranny and the totalitarianism. And we're finally taking a stand because we realize if we don't do it now, it's never going to happen. You know what I'm saying? People really mean business. In fact, John Kerry recently said that it doesn't matter if Trump gets back into the presidency or not. Nobody can stop what we're doing here at the WEF. Nobody can stop our movement to basically control and micromanage everybody and basically bring the world down to zero emissions, which basically means you have zero life. You don't get to go anywhere. You don't get to do anything. Everything is surveilled and tracked, and you'll be on a digital ID and have a social credit score. I mean, these people are the epitome of tyrants, and they're worse than the tyrant past because they have technology on their side. Technology was the missing piece that they never had to make things happen. And you may say, well, Barry, that's nonsense. No, that's what the globalists themselves say. That's what Yuval Noah Harari has said. He said that's the missing link for them. He said Hitler couldn't do what we're going to be able to do because we have technology. We can be the tyrants that they never were. So think about an admission like that. These people are absolute psychopaths.
But you know, the internet is also a curse and a blessing, because while it gave them more power, it also gave us more power too. And speaking in the conversations that we have every single week, that's what the internet has provided. It's provided an alternative for all of us, that we can know that what the media is telling us is all lies, and there has to be an alternate reality out there, because we're living in reverse reality right now, and it doesn't make any sense. It can't last much longer. just like you're saying, where people are coming to realizations that, whoa, that's far enough. This is enough.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens. But the people have been coming out and voting in great numbers.
Yeah,
under
the freezing cold too, man.
Yeah, horrible conditions. So that is very inspiring also. And it feels like there's, the pendulum is coming back. Insanity is going to be restored soon, hopefully, because I don't know how much more people can take.
That's right.
They're nut
right.
jobs right now.
And I don't think a lot of people understand that this has been going on for a long time. This New World Order plan. They talked about that at Davos, where the guy was saying, where's the new order right now? Where's the New World Order at? He was asking questions to some of these other globalists and so forth. And they admit that this has been an ongoing thing for decades, right? And I was reading an article about Alex Jones and how he actually was talking about Disease X back in 2018, almost 7 years ago. And I thought, no, that can't be. That can't be. And then I went and watched the video, the archive. It was actually when he had hair, because he doesn't have any more hair. So I know it was 2018. And he said, talking about Disease X and everything that's happening now and all the things that they're saying now, he was saying in 2018. I mean, think about it, folks. And you can go back, even when it comes down to AI stuff, you can do your own research on this. Go look at some of the videos on YouTube, or at least they used to be on YouTube, of Arthur C. Clarke talking about the future and how robots are going to take over and all about the robots and AI. I mean, these people knew the future decades and decades and decades ago, and they've been working diligently to get us to the point of totalitarianism that we are today, to where they believe they're going to bring in this technocratic dictatorship and basically rule the world and micromanage all aspects of our lives. And it's not okay. And you need to stand up and fight peacefully and nonviolently.
Mm-hmm. And we can know that's true because we started a while ago. People started waking up with Agenda 2021, and then it got pushed back to Agenda 2030. And now they have an Agenda 2050. And that's how it goes. They have agendas and they try and meet those goals. And when they get pushed back, like they did for 2021, then they made new plans for 2030. And now they had to make new plans for 2050 because that's how much they underestimate we the people. They think that we're going to be like their base and just go along with whatever they're saying, but we're actually making a difference and we're pushing all of these things back. And we have President Trump to thank for that, because if he didn't get in there and reverse all of that craziness, we never would have known how much better it could have been. And now we do know, and we see how quickly Joe Biden just reversed everything and put us back into, we're almost in the verge of World War III.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. He just brought that shock to the system right back to business as usual, back to the war machine, back to the corruption, back to stripping us of our rights and our freedoms. I mean, it's just back to the old ways. And here's something for all you anti-Trumpers out there that are Republicans or maybe even Democrats. I would hope that the Democrats would agree with this as well. But Trump has now said on the record a couple of things that I think are very important. One is that he will not have CBDCs under his presidency. That's a good thing, because that's one of the key components to them to be able to basically control everything. Once they get that CBDCs in, man, that will weaken our power and our strength. That will disempower us. And he also said, hey, man, these people on the left, on the far left, Biden and others, are globalist and they want world government. I've never heard a real former president talk openly about world government. I've heard a few people talk about it that were running for president over the years, mention it here and there. And they didn't really gain any traction, maybe like a Ron Paul. There was a couple of other people, I wouldn't even remember their names, where they talked about world government. But to openly come out, think about how many people are hearing him say that, because this is the biggest threat that we face, is a tyrannical world government. That is the biggest threat we face. And they are the ones that are responsible for much of the doom and gloom that we're in right now, the atmosphere and environment of doom and gloom. And they're responsible, in my opinion, for millions and millions and millions of deaths over the last, 100 years.
Absolutely. You can just look back, that the intelligence agencies have been weaponized against us. We just had another case come out where the FBI, I call them the FBI, was being called out for entrapment. And it seems like that's their number one skill, is they create the terror so that they can remain relevant, so that they can maintain their power to set up and to cover up. And this has been going on for a very long time, and people are going to crap their pants when they realize how much this weaponized intelligence agencies have been weaponized against us for how long, because this does go way, way back. You've heard many people say that 9/11 was an inside job. Well, guess what? It was. And so were a lot of the jobs after that as well. They just they use these situations to manipulate people into covert political agendas, taking power, overreach. And like you said, they don't let a crisis go to waste. That's what they use them for, so that they can get extra powers. And then we have to remember that our rights can never be taken away. They can only be surrendered. So when they try it again, and they're going to, especially we're talking about this disease X, know that it's possible, and they do it. And we have a recent history to derive from. When have we ever had to have pandemic response, for the whole world? And now all of a sudden it's going to become protocol?
Mm-hmm. And they're pushing that whole disease X thing, that scary name of disease X. And it's funny because over there at the Davos, they were talking, one of the people at the round table there was talking about how, X is such a scary name, for the new name that Elon Musk gave Twitter. And he goes, it's just so scary. Who would name, something, a social media site X? It's just creepy and scary. It's terrifying. It scares me, just the name. And I'm thinking, well, why did you guys name your upcoming virus, your upcoming disease that's going to wipe everybody out, disease X then? I mean, they just show who they are. They revealing that they are all about fear. That is their biggest weapon, is fear. I don't fear anything they say. Like, they could say the whole world was going to end tomorrow. I would not care. They don't really control the whole world to the extent that they believe they do. If you believe in a sovereign, omnipotent God, there's no way that you can believe that they have full, total control over everything. It's impossible. And I do believe in God, and I don't believe they control everything. They do have too much control, absolutely, and they've done great damage. But now is the time that we stop them, and now is the time that we face them and say, hey, man, you're not taking over America. That's for certain.
Yeah, and you can see with these people who are dropping out of the presidential run, President Trump, he has his solid MAGA base. That ain't going anywhere. But now he's absorbed some of Vivek's supporters. He's absorbed some of Ron DeSantis' supporters. So our movement has gotten even bigger, while the other side, they are getting smaller, because every day they have to keep lying and lying and lying, and we have the truth on our side. So once you see, you don't unsee, and so they have the problem. That's what's happening, is too many people are becoming aware, and once that happens, we have an automatic paradigm shift. And I believe we're in the midst of it right now.
Correct. And how many lies can they keep saying? I mean, like, they keep saying the economy's great, but yet it was just in the news that U.S. home sales have declined to their lowest in 30 years as Americans' economic suffering. But if you think about it, that is the goal of the globalists. They don't want us in homes. They want us in their little micro apartments. They want us in their little micro community pods. They want us living in tiny homes and all these things, because these are the green things, right? Remember what Obama said? I know I've said it many times, but he said, we can't allow Africa, which shows that he's racist on top of things, to have the luxurious amenities that we have in America and in Europe, because that would make the whole world burn up. No, they are just suppressing them from having the amenities that we have. That's what they are doing. I'm for Africa prospering. I'm for Africa having, homes and cars. One of the things that Trump talked about, and you don't hear much talk about it anymore, but he talked earlier on about a year ago about having freedom cities in America. And these aren't 15-minute cities. It's totally opposite of that, where he talked about where people would be able to afford to get into a home and afford to buy a car. So even people that are working, say, on a minimum wage, he's wanting to create these cities that create opportunities. And we have to create an America and a world that creates opportunities. But that is not what the globalists want. The globalists want you to have zero opportunities and zero emissions. The two go hand in hand. And the only way you can have zero emissions is if you just basically go into isolation. And it's terrible. But did you know that a Harvard study came out and said that 61% of our youth today are suffering from severe depression and isolation? That's all by design, folks. They've done that culturally, chemically, socially, technologically. Done that. They've weakened us. And so now is the time that we rise up and we take the power back. First of all, we have to become self-empowered so that we can face these enemies, because they've weakened us. They've weakened us. They've weakened us in our mind. They've weakened us in our bodies. They've weakened us in our spiritual mind and in our spiritual senses. We have to get those things back. If you don't have them already, many are already working hard to get that back, because it's crucial to winning. It's crucial to prevent tyranny from happening.
Yep.
Oh, there you are, censorship.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just, T-Mobile kind of sucks, is all I'm going to say. Seriously,
You're not endorsing
T-Mobile.
them? They're not the sponsor?
No. If they were sponsoring us, they'd probably put me on a list of people who, get solid access to the internet on a regular basis. I don't know.
They probably debank you for speaking out against them.
Yeah, it's anyway. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. And this Davos thing, what was the spirit of this year's meeting too? It's something like connecting with the people.
Yeah, rebuilding trust. Rebuilding trust was their theme. As if we ever trusted them. It's been a long time since we've trusted the mainstream media or the institutions in America. They lost trust a while ago. And they're not going to get it back, because you have to have change. You literally have to change before you can regain trust. You can't do some marketing campaign and think that's going to fix it, because that's how they've always done it in the times past. Now, they said, I heard one lady, she was talking about, we just need to be more transparent, let them know why we believe what we believe and, where we're getting this information from. But if they do all of that and they sincerely do that, they'll be revealing themselves even more and showing more how corrupt and evil they are.
And on that note, folks, we are about out of time for right now. We got to take a commercial break. We will be right back after this.
And we're on radio break.
You sound
What
really
time you
good.
got, Mark?
Huh?
What time you got?
I got 8:40 right now.
Okay, good.
Why?
Because I saw you asking about break. I'm like, is your clock off again? Because you're like,
No.
why aren't you guys on break? Like we're 30 seconds from going on break.
Yeah, but you passed the mic to Barry.
Yeah, I know. That's why I kind of came in there in the last minute or so.
Well, I was
I know
kind
Barry
of
doesn't
doing
even...
some pauses to let you come in. So.
Mm-hmm.
You sound
Yeah,
really
because I know
good
these
right
two
now.
don't watch the clock.
I was actually watching the clock, but I'm glad you came in there, and I knew, and it was. I asked. Remember Wednesday, you guys reconfirmed to me. And I should have known this by now anyway, but I don't always think about these kind of things. You said that the Sunday show was at 40 on both hours.
No, only in the first hour.
Okay, maybe it's 25 on both hours on the Wednesday show then, right?
It is.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah. All right.
Correct. Yes. Sunday night, just the first hour, we go to the 40-minute mark. And then in the second hour, we cut off at 25 after. Otherwise, Willie would have way too much time.
Yeah. Oh, my God. He would just go too wild.
So do you guys hear about that dog named Ruby?
No.
It's a really cool story. A guy fell into a lake, and the cop gets there trying to rescue him, but he can't get out to him, and he can't throw his, ring, I guess they called it, out far enough to him. So he gives it to the dog, kind of like attaches it to his leash, and then the owner calls the dog over. The dog goes out to him. He gets the rope and gets tied in. So the dog saved his life.
Aw. Good
Yeah,
job,
really.
Ruby.
It's a feel-good story.
I love all those videos where they have, just nice videos of, dogs and cats and animals and stuff. It's kind of soothing in the midst of all the insanity. It's, I never watched that stuff before, but now it's like, it's sort of consoling, makes you feel good.
Palate cleansers.
Apparently, Twitter went on a rampage today, and one of their algorithms started flagging sensitive content on like sunrises and stuff like that. Puppies.
AI taking over, man.
Everyone was freaking out. Like, why did I get tagged? It's a picture of the sunrise, for crying out loud.
That's what the future will look like. You can't post
I'll talk about
pictures of the sky.
When we come back, I'll hit Ruby up, and then we'll go into that story, and then that should about take us up to the 10-minute segment.
Ruby, take this rope over to your dad. Right? That's his dad was in the...
Yeah.
Good job, Ruby.
Exactly.
Was Ruby a little dog?
Yeah, not too big.
Like a little
I mean, yeah, he wasn't, it was big enough to be able to carry the thing out there, but not like he wasn't going to go through the water or anything, or the ice.
Lassie. Good job, Lassie.
Timmy did not fall in the well this time.
See if I can find that article.
What about Fannie Willis?
Yeah, I've got that up too.
She got her fanny spanked.
Who's Fannie Willis? That sounds kind of familiar. Like I should know that.
Yeah, the prosecutor that's going after Trump.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the one that's having the lavish vacations and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
You got 30 seconds until we get back.
All right. Oh, man, it's hot in here. I'm sweating.
I'm starting to get hot. I don't know what's going on, man. And it's cold out there, so. We're working up a sweat, man.
I'm under a blanket.
And
heated
here's
blanket?
your countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you're live and on the radio side right now.
Welcome back to the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show. I've got a great story for you guys. There was this dog, and we're not good enough to have dogs. Dogs are the best things there are in the entire world. I love them with all my heart. There's a dude who's walking out on the ice, and he falls through. He could touch the bottom, but he couldn't get out. So he could survive there for a little while, but he was in bad shape and desperately needed, help getting out of a frozen lake. So the cop comes, tries to throw this ring out to him, and he can't get it to him. It's, it's having problems with it. But the guy's got a little dog. And so the cop, quick thinking, attaches it to the dog's collar and then says, go get your daddy. The dad's out there like, come here, Ruby, come here, Ruby. And the dog brings him the life-saving ring that he needed to hold on to get pulled out of the ice and the water and safely to shore, thus saving his life. What a good boy. What a good dog.
Good doggy. I hope Ruby
We love
got
our
a
doggos.
nice bone after that.
Oh, I bet. I bet he got his own steak.
Teriyaki.
Uh-huh.
What a sweet.
Man, if my dog saved my life, he's getting a steak for dinner tonight, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
No questions asked.
Prime rib or T-bone
Mhm.
or maybe even John.
Ooh.
I would take him to the grocery store and let him out.
There you go. Well, the T-bone, he gets the word, so he might pick
Yeah.
that one. Or can they have a T-bone?
They can have a T-bone.
Okay.
That's what we did for dinner tonight. He cut it out before they cooked it, so with the bone in. Because two sides of the T-bone, different cuts that cook differently, but also the bone is much better for the dog if it's raw. So
Okay.
I got a raw T-bone to bring home for Blue.
Nice.
Yeah. Now there's a big trend today that was sensitive content that was going on X, because apparently the other AIs went haywire and started flagging just about anything up there as sensitive content. So people would put up a picture of the sunrise, sensitive content. Here's my puppy, guys. What do you think? Sensitive content. And they're freaking out because they're like, what? I mean, am I going to lose my account over this? Over this? The sunrise.
It's a sign of things to come.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, the monsters. They've got this new AI phone coming out soon too, right? So you can edit and manipulate photos on the fly using the AI. So if you don't know Photoshop, you can just, boom, boom, boom.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just going to make everyone question reality. What is reality now?
Yeah.
When every photo you're going to see now very soon is going to be manipulated in some way by AI, right?
Oh,
Here's
yeah.
me at the beach today. It's like, well, no, that's not you at the beach today per se. That's an AI-generated variation of a photo you took at the beach today.
And what about like tapes being altered? Because Roger Stone, he basically took that audio clip that they were saying where I think it was where they said he was, wanting to do violence, and he had a couple different forensic experts, AI forensic experts look at it, and they found that it was like 95+% fraudulent. And so he may actually be suing because they were trying to make him say things that he didn't say. I mean, honestly, I was watching on Twitter this fake Joe Rogan page, and he was saying all kinds of like conspiracy type stuff, like, like more even bizarre conspiracy. That doesn't sound like Joe Rogan to me. He's more level headed than that. But it fooled me for at least 7 or 8 videos until I noticed that where they showed a picture of his face, the words didn't match the lips, but the sound was so good, man. The inflection and everything, it sounded like Joe Rogan across the board. You would not have known any differently. So they're going to use this kind of thing to entrap people, make them look like they said something that they didn't. And it won't matter even if they prove them to be wrong, because it'll already be out there in people's minds. You know how the fake news operates. They don't ever make corrections when they do something wrong.
Oh, of course not. Yeah, no, because they never do anything wrong in their eyes.
They do no wrong. That's it.
Yeah. They've got reasons why they lie. They know why they lie. They know why they report, misinformation to them as fact. They understand why. You think Mark Zuckerberg doesn't know what he does? He knows exactly what he's doing.
That's
and
right.
It's the price you pay to have those billions and billions of dollars. For him, it's a choice. I play along with the cartel, I get the billions of dollars. I don't, I lose it all.
Yeah. Yeah. These leaders of ours, they're like robots. They're like cyborgs. You saw any of those interviews by Rebel News at the Davos where he was, catching some of these globalists going into the building and so forth. They all, when they did answer, they all had the same canned answer. Well, we just believe that what we did was the right thing. And we were very happy and pleased. Decisions, the experts, so we all looked at it and we felt this was the best thing. I mean, it's so fake and disingenuous. I would imagine that only a fool couldn't see that these people are fraudulent across the board. Fraudulent.
They're rebuilding trust, though, Barry. Rebuilding that trust.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's what they call trust. I think what they call trust is more authoritarian measures, and then getting us just to go along with whatever they say through that manner.
Yeah, I saw a statistic that said 31% of the people trust the media and the government in the United States.
Yeah, I saw that.
Seems high to me, but yeah. Seems high.
Like, what is it, 80%, right? Don't trust. Something like that, right?
It should be.
I would say, yeah, it's gone so far beyond what the Constitution enumerated for the powers of the federal government that it's just a joke. It's the national defense, treaties, printing money, things like that are what the government's supposed to be doing, not everything it's doing today. The presidential election shouldn't even matter. It shouldn't even be important. Our governor races should be, strategically very critical, but they're not, because governors gave up all that power to the federal government when they should have kept it all along.
Well, you never know what the future holds. Whatever we have that's, we're doing right now isn't working. So I imagine in the future, some things are going to be changed. And, one thing President Trump said that I think would make an immense difference is going to the source and stopping the fake news, because that's exactly what's happening. We're under an information warfare, a psychological operation, and we've been lied to, as a matter of fact, for so long that people are losing their minds.
Yep.
Yep.
It's what happens when you send people down these crazy thought experiments,
Yes.
You take a stable country that we've had forever and then suddenly say, hey, you know what? A man and a woman shouldn't be living together. They shouldn't be having kids. They shouldn't, right? Let's make divorce so prevalent that no man in his right mind would ever want to get married, especially a successful one, right? Let's make the world so unlivable that the families die out. The children are so susceptible to any misinformation because they don't have rock solid parents at home standing there ready every night at dinner to correct and put an end to any wrong thing like that enters their minds. It's a very scary world.
Yeah, and they've been trained not to critically think either. School's not teaching kids how to critically think for themselves. They're pushing the same kind of narrative that the globalists do. This is the truth, and anything else is lies and misinformation, and nothing else is up for debate. I mean, I heard a scientist saying today, he said, science is finished and done for when science can no longer ask questions. And we're at that point with certain things where science can no longer ask questions. People that are scientists that maybe want to go against the norm or go against the official narrative or what's been the common, belief for years and years and years. So science is kind of dead. And we saw at the Davos again this year, they said, once again, they clarified that they control the science, that they controlled the narrative and the news, that we own the news. This is all stuff they reiterated again this year at Davos, but they have admitted that they're losing that control. And their biggest threat is the alternative media. They believe that the alternative media is responsible for their decline, but their decline is because they're liars. That's why they're declining, because they tell you one thing, it turns out not to be true. Then they tell you a new lie, that turns out not to be true. And eventually you can only cry wolf so many times.
And then you go over to something like the Gateway Pundit and you're like, wow, these guys have been right on all this stuff all along. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, they broke another story that turned out to be correct. But anyway, folks, we've got to take another break. We'll be right back after this.
If I can get to it. Here we go. Yeah, we're on radio break.
There we go.
Sorry about that. I had to step out for a few minutes.
No problem whatsoever, man.
So David Hoggett tried to come in here a couple times. That's so encouraging.
Yeah.
It's a shame he couldn't figure it out. Of all people, I would think he'd be able to do it.
Well,
I think that was a stab at me, wasn't it? That was a stab at me.
Yeah.
Don't deny it.
It was. Yeah, it was. What were you saying, yeah?
He's been sick, very sick.
Yeah. But man, we miss him. Even if he didn't come on the show and just came in the pre-show for a little bit, it'd be just so great to hear from him.
Just like typing on the, same stuff, and sending us corny photos and stuff like
Oh
that would
yeah,
be cool as well.
anything. Just a proof of life,
Yeah.
He said there have been many times I wanted to jump on Skype, but for whatever reason, I'm unable to.
I mean, the fact of the matter is we miss him, man. And
many times, huh? Yeah, we need him back, man. I really, I'd love to just hear Hansel again, man. Forget David Hogg. I miss Hansel.
I keep
I
hearing
know, I
this
told him-
high-pitched whistle coming from somewhere. I'm not sure where it's coming from.
It's censorship heater.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It could very well be a whistle. You said though.
Yeah, it sounds like a vibration or a high-pitched whistle in the background.
It's not a whistle. I wouldn't call it. It's just a fan. I mean, I've
It
asked you
sounds
guys
like it's sick.
numerous shows
If
in
you're
the past if you could hear it.
I'm
Oh,
just
yeah, I can turn
noticing
it down a little bit.
really a lot more tonight than.
But yeah, sometimes turning that down is non-negotiable.
Yeah, there's quiet.
Yeah, it got real quiet now.
You can't. Well, I'm way closer to it now. I'm right on top of it.
Oh, I
see,
hear it
now.
again.
It got real loud again.
Yeah. Okay. And
Sounds
now
like
it's getting
crickets.
slightly quieter. Okay.
Wheelie, are you out there?
Hey,
Where's our
anybody
Willie?
out there?
Willie?
Willie.
Willie! Oh, dude, did you see where he? There was a guy on South sounded just like Saul Goodman. Exactly. I was like, that is he probably tagged you. I think. Did you not see it?
Who was it? No, I don't know. What character was it?
It was. I think it was a guest character, but it was hilarious, dude. I was like, man, that sounds like the voice you do. I thought your voice was
it a
better.
kid?
Yeah, I think
Was
your
it a
voice
kid?
was. Yes, I think so. And
Look
your
at
voice
you,
was
I
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, your voice was better, man, for sure. This guy, he didn't have the lisp quite down.
Yeah. Sure.
Anywho, what time do we come back on? Isn't he supposed to be here, Willie?
5 after.
Oh, yeah, he's.
Yeah, well, yeah, in about a minute or two, usually shows up.
Okay, cool.
If he comes, he might not. Although he was on here yesterday looking for Mark.
Yeah.
Was he
Yeah.
on a Saturday
Yeah.
on this channel?
Yeah. Well, not channel, but on this Skype. Yeah, and he messaged me on directly on my Skype, and then I'm like, oh, okay. That's what that's about.
Mm.
Well. What time we coming back? How much more time do we have left before we go live?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. I think I'm gonna get some water.
Oh, it just started raining here. It's gonna pour now. Once this rain opens up, it's gonna start calming down.
Yeah, we'll definitely hear it.
Big shout outs to our folks that listen in behind the scenes that never type to us over on Rumble, and all the folks over on Kick who do.
Oh.
And sometimes Willie is in the Kick chat now, because Willie is now a moderator for the
Willie's
Kick
at-
chat.
Willie is a handsome man. Although he's muted. There he is.
Yeah, and everybody, welcome to the Willie's Worm Farm Round Radio Show, and where we
Doggone
have
it, Willie.
we have with us our guest tonight, Mr. Censorship Sucks, and we got Yo Rizzo and Yotivation Nate, Josh Who, and Bullhorn Barry. Yeah. Hey man, we got a great show tonight. Y'all stand by. We got to go to commercial break. Hey, y'all push that
All right.
button over there.
Commercial break. We're on commercial break, man.
Yeah, but hey man, that's the Willie's Worm Farm Roundtable Radio Show. We got to have a commercial
okay.
break too,
Yeah, I
man.
see.
Remember, you
we're
can't
live
have
on
a
that.
round
Is over there?
table. Yours is oblong.
Yeah. Hey, oh, your Rizzo there, man.
No, you announced that he was with you.
Yeah, man. No, I thought he was there, man. That doggone me. Y'all done run him off. And Where that Yotivation Nation at? Y'all gonna run her off too?
Hi, Willie.
Hi, Yotivation Nation. I love you. I don't call, man. How y'all doing tonight?
I'm so good now that I've talked to you.
Awesome. Doggone. Hi, that just warms my heart, man. It makes it boil over like a boiling over cup.
Hope everything's going well for you, Willie.
Uh-oh, look out. Cats, dog, and kids. My nickel is in the house over a kick. Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
hey.
Nickel. What's up, 5 Cent?
Willie, get some new pans.
New pots and pans?
Yeah, last I knew you got, a U-Haul pulled up and took everything you had.
Yeah, man. Oh, doggone. I did everything. I like Cat Williams, man. I forgot y'all know about that, man. I had Cat Williams. That fella at work, he messes up everything. She took everything. My buddy went over there today. Man, you ain't got nothing. he said, our whole camper's cleaned out. He said, the shed's cleaned out. The camper's cleaned out. I didn't know I didn't own nothing. Doggone. She took everything. I come to find out later on tonight from her daughter. Her daughter said, hey, you know about exorcism, right? And I'm like, exorcism? She said,
30 seconds.
Yeah, she get it. Huh? Go ahead.
Continue, Willie.
I thought y'all was coming off a break.
Well, real soon.
Her daughter, I talked to her daughter on the phone. Her daughter said, you knew about the exorcism. Hey, that's where I got that from last week. That girl down there exercising at the church, and Willie come up with one up to them been exercised.
All right, here's your countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're live and on the radio side right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to hour 2 of the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show, Sunday night edition. And if you're a regular listener to this show, you know that can only mean one thing. It's time to get us some Willie. Willie, how are you doing out there?
Yeah. Hey, man, I'm dialed in, man. Hey, I hacked in. I know how to get in here. Y'all don't even have to call me no more, man. How y'all doing tonight?
We're doing good.
Yeah.
I see it's kind of convenient. Yeah. Not having to call you. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Hey, well, I just so happen to be doing my radio assignment at the same time as y'all's radio show. And for all y'all out there in Radio Land that don't know, my name is Willie Lee. I run Willie's Worm Farm down in Walden, Florida. Willie's Cricket Emporium here in Sandy Run, South Carolina. Hey, y'all look at him. I sell pea jugs too, and hey, you got to have ideas, man. Hey, and I can come up with all kind of ideas and stuff. Y'all know how I sell underwear too. Hey, I got an email address.
Willie, no. Willie, I will not let you plug your used underwear thing. No, that is a horrible idea. You're not going to plug it on my radio show. No.
Yeah, but hi, doggone. Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all something else, man. Hey, I got a fella I know. His name is Ray. Hi, doggone. Hey, and I know Ray, he's listening right now. Hey, Ray, come up with an idea. He said, I got a fire pit. He said, I made me a fire pit. Hey, Ray went down there to the junkyard, man. He got him a tire rim off a tractor trailer truck, and he put it out in his front yard. He called it a fire pit. Hey, but that's a good idea, man. Hey, that's what I'm gonna start doing too, man. I got me a fire pit. I'm gonna start selling tire rims rims, man. Hey, no, hey, they worth about $2 in junk iron, man. Hey, but I can paint them black, man. Give me $1 of spray paint down there at the Dollar General, man. Hey, I'll spray them things black, and I can sell them for $400 a piece, man. I got me a fire pit, a tire fire pit. Look at him. No,
Won't the tire catch on fire? It's a rim of the tire or the actual tire?
Yeah, no, man. Hey, it's just the rim, man. He said, look at him. He said, I got me a fire pit. I told him, I said, hey, Ray. I said, that's a rim off a tractor trailer truck. He said, no, it's a fire pit. Doggone.
How is that a fire pit?
Yeah, you put wood in it and you set it on fire. You take that rim and you lay it on the ground, and where it's circle up, man. You put wood in there, and he calls it a fire pit. He said instead of spending $400 for a regular fire pit, man, he just goes out in the junkyard and gets them for free. Man, it's kind of dumb, but it's kind of smart too, man.
If you got ideas and they work, man, more power to you. Make that money, Willie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Hey, I didn't come up with something else, man. I'm gonna start doing. They got something called hey, we talked about it last week, man. I'm gonna do me what they call a stand-up comedy routine, man. I used to be famous. I ain't famous no more, man. I opened for the Rough Riders at the South Carolina State Fair back in 1989, man. And I was famous back then, but I ain't famous no more. And Saul Good, he was going to get me famous again, but I told him I didn't want to get famous again. I'm going to get famous by starting these redneck words of the day, and I'm going to do me what they call a stand-up comedy routine. I started it last week. Now, you got to have ideas. And what the difference is between rednecks and country people and hillbillies and white trash. Hey, you got poor white trash and the proud white trash. Hey, Aunt Mama Lou, dadgummit, man, Aunt Mama Lou ain't here. Shoot fire, I was gonna get her in here because I was telling y'all last week what Aunt Mama Lou and her family and they proud white trash, man. Hey, when they sit around the dinner table, they got to use each other's false teeth to complete a meal, man. That's the truth. Open up the door. Hey, no, and we got rednecks, man. Redneck word of the day. Hey, here's one for you, man. The redneck word of the day is Tibetan. Y'all know what a Tibetan is, man? Hey, but no, hey, this is a new meaning of Tibetan, man. Hey, I went down to the racetrack and I got Tibetan on them horses, man. I lost all my money. Look at that. Hey. Is something else, man. I didn't convince the man. Hey, I'm gonna start cockfighting, man. Hey, cockfighting is real big around here, man. Hey, you win a lot of money off of cockfighting. Hey, except for what I'm gonna do is he cocks, man. The cocks ain't gonna have like spurs on their legs or nothing, man. We're gonna tie like little ribbons on their legs, and whatever cock rips the ribbon off the other cock's leg, then that's the cock that's gonna win. So that's the kind of cockfight we're gonna do. Cause I can't condone like regular cockfighting on here, man.
Okay, there were many ways you could have taken that, and I appreciate that ended the way it did. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no. Hey, that's it. Hey, and that girl down there at the animal shelter, the one I was telling y'all about, had them big old kitties. Hey, no, she's the one. Yeah. Yeah, no, she's the one to helping me out, man. And she going to help me get everything all taken care of, man. And she got, I love them big old kitties. Hey, they pretty though, man. Hey, they real pretty. They the prettiest Siamese cats you ever seen before in your life, man. Hey, but hey, Bullhorn Barry. Bullhorn Barry.
Yeah, I'm right here, man.
Yeah, hey, I got a question for you, man. Hey, you know, every show rolls around, man. Hey, I got a question for you because you smart. Now, like I said, the rest of them they smart, but you're a different kind of smart. You like a smart, knowing everything smart, and they just kind of smart. They only know what they read and stuff, man. Hey, but here's what I want to know. I want to know how come whenever they launch them daggum rockets, man, they launch them off the beaches and stuff. They launch them like Florida, and I think they launch them out of Texas or something too, man. Here's what I want. Why don't they take that rocket and put it at the top of a mountain and launch it from the top of a mountain. That way they ain't got as far to go up in outer space, man. You know, that mountain is 7,000 feet up in the air or something, or 8, 9, 10,000 feet up in there. They put that rocket on top of the mountain and it ain't got as far to go down in outer space, man.
Yeah, but it takes a lot to get it up there, Willie. I mean, it's not like, you know, they can just like haul it up there and put it on a backpack.
Hey, man, they got all kind of stuff that they're doing, man. They're building tunnels all across the United States. Hey, the United States government, man, hey, they probably got tunnels all the way around the world, but they guaranteed they got tunnels that runs from the East Coast to the West Coast, all up underneath the Mississippi River and everything else. They got that.
I've heard of that.
They got that technology where they can do that, and all the people, they got their super bunkers and everything, and they're supposed to be like, if it's the end of the world. Hey, I heard about that too. There's supposed to be some kind of solar blast coming. Supposed to wipe out all the internet and everything else, man. Hey, and that's something else y'all need to be prepared for, man. I talked to Aunt Mama Lou the other day. Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all a little secret, man. Hey, well, Aunt Mama Lou ain't here, and for all y'all out there that don't know, let me tell y'all about Aunt Mama Lou. Hey, Aunt Mama Lou's my wife. Well, she ain't my wife no more. We's divorced right now, but we was never really married. But what happened was, and I just got to tell the story. That way I catch up by who Aunt Mama Lou is, and I'm gonna tell y'all something else about Aunt Mama Lou too. But Aunt Mama Lou, what happened was Daddy married Miss Dorothy from down at the church, and Miss Dorothy, she had a daughter named Lou, and then what happened is Miss Dorothy, she got a case of the guy gone, and y'all know the story. And I'm just telling the story from, you know, folks out there in radio land. Miss Dorothy, well, what happened to her is she killed a bunch of college kids down there by the lake and said they was fornicating and all kind of stuff. She ended up in an insane asylum, and she got a case of the guy gone. Well, hey, she left behind her daughter, Lou, and then Daddy married Lou. And Lou was my sister. And then when Daddy married Lou, she became my mama. Well, then Daddy got a case of the guy gone, and he wasn't around no more. So what I went and done is I married Lou since Daddy wasn't there no more. So she was my sister, then she was my mama, and then she was my wife. But we got married on a John boat. Mr. Bill from down there at the bar, you know, he was the captain of the John boat, you know, because captains, they can marry folks, man. Hey, but then we come to find out that wasn't quite true neither, and we wasn't really legally married or whatever. Hey, but I'm going to tell y'all, Aunt Mama Lou, her family, man, you talk about proud white trash. That's Aunt Mama Lou's family, man. Hey, and anytime I tell Aunt Mama Lou about her family and how bad they are, hey, my family, hey, I ain't saying that my family is highfalutin or nothing, man, but I tell Aunt Mama Lou, I'm like, I don't know about your side of the family, Ray and Tay and Uncle Daddy Bobby and all them other ones, and then you got Tweaker Kenny. I started writing a song about Ray, Tay, and Uncle Daddy Bobby. They going down Circle K, gonna get high, trying to get by anyway. Hey, but I tell Aunt Mama Lou, man, about her family, and they be proud white trash. Man, Aunt Mama Lou, she'll go from 0 to, I don't know if I can say this or not, and I apologize to everybody out there in radio land, but hey, I ain't got no better term, man. Aunt Mama, hey, y'all cut me off. Y'all bleep it out if y'all got to, but Aunt Mama Lou,
well, you know, just be careful, Willie.
Yeah, well, okay. Hey, I use a different word. Hey, I use crap. I said Aunt Mama Lou, she go from 0 to bat crap crazy in 2.2 seconds, man. You start talking bad about her family. Hey, Aunt Mama Lou, she ain't much better, man. I tell y'all what, y'all ain't never met Aunt Mama Lou, and y'all think that she's all that and then some, and she's all nice and sweet. Hey, y'all know she ain't sweet, because what she done is she rigged up a remote control frying pan. She can back in right
I remember that. I remember that.
I tell y'all what, man, she's something else. If y'all don't believe me, just ask me. I'll tell you. But I don't.
Willie, you crack me up. You crack me up.
Hey, I heard from Michael the Midget the other day. Hey, this is true. Hey, this is true. I heard from Michael the Midget the other day, and Michael the Midget, he got out that hole, and he's doing a little bit better. And y'all, hey, let me give me a swig of this rocket juice. Hold on.
He got out of the hole.
Yeah,
and he's doing better.
Yeah, he's out of the hole. Hey, y'all read the code, man. Hey, cause I got in contact with him, and y'all read the code. He's out of the hole a little bit, and he's doing a lot better, man. That's all I'm gonna tell y'all, man. If y'all don't know, y'all can get with me later on or whatever. But what I done got figured out, man. Hey, over there in China land, and they got it over here too, like a credit score, man. And over in China, they got like a social credit score. Hey, and I'm gonna start handing out Willie tokens, and I'm gonna make them Willie tokens valuable. And I'm gonna start with y'all. Y'all gonna have to pay me for some of these Willie tokens, man. Hey, and then I'm gonna start giving y'all.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start giving y'all a social credit score. So, like right now, as of right now, Bullhorn Barry, he's got 100% social credit score. And Yotivation Nation, she's got a 99% credit score. The only reason she ain't got a whole 100 is because that retraining order she's got against me. And censorship sucks. I'm gonna start you out with a 45.
A 45, huh?
Yeah, no, it ain't me, man. It's what.
Yeah.
Hey, now, not an AI algorithm. They say that that you're you talking to Saul Good and stuff all the time, and Saul Good, he about crooked as the day is long, man. Hey, that's Saul Good. I'm telling y'all, man, there's something bad wrong with that man. I ain't quite got it figured out yet, but I'm gonna get to the bottom of it. He's pretending. Yeah,
let me guess. Let me guess. If I buy your silly little tokens, my score goes up, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah. All you have. Send me 1995, man. Send it to my email address, Willie Lee V at gmail.com.
Willie, that's not how email works.
Yeah. Hey, you can send it to my email, and then I click on something, and then I can get it.
Okay.
But
are you talking about Venmo or something? PayPal?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's some kind of a link. I got to hook it up. I ain't hooked it up yet, man. But all you got to do, you'll send me $29.95. I give you a discount, man, and I can make your credit score go up.
Okay, you just said it was 19. Now it's 29. But how much will that take my score up, hypothetically?
Hey, for that much, they bring it up to about 100. I told you you associate good. That's the only reason it's so daggum low, man. I didn't come up with something else too, and hoping that Yotivation Nation was going to be there tonight. Hey, because Yotivation, she come up with a good idea. I'm just going to go ahead and run this by y'all, man. Hey, Yotivation, she told me, she said, here's a story. Yeah. She said, here.
She is here, right?
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. I don't go. I forgot. I thought she wasn't there. I'm sorry. Oh man, I got to wait this Willie's Raw juice I got, man. Hey, some folks they say I drank too much of it, but I don't know, man. Hey, hey, y'all, let me read this to you. Hey, this is a story, and I was going to add to it, but here's what she said. Here's her story. It's like this here. Y'all ready? Hold on. It goes, one time Willie Lee was hauling sailboat fuel cross country. He was pulled over on the interstate. The cops, they tried to interrogate. Hey, that rhymes. Hey, but he just kept about everything, hardly any breath at all. Just one crazy topic right into the next, talking about his ideas, because you got to have ideas. That's a good one. Hey, well, telling them about Mark and Hans, Saul Good, and Aunt Mama Lou, Bullhorn Barry, Mr. Shoot, his P jugs too, and the representative. Yeah, but what happened?
Keep going, Willie.
Yeah, I was a producer coming in. Now he talking about his P jug and the representative to the king and area. He mentioned things about COVID and Fauci and China. And he says it like Donald Trump, China and bioweapons bacteria. And apparently, Willie, that's me. He was talking about all this kind of stuff to them. And then he told them about his naked bike race. And all y'all out there in Radio Land don't know, I was in a naked bike race and I almost won, but I got pushed off my bicycle. Hey, and then I'm telling folks about my glory holes. I'm telling you law people about my glory holes. Them glory holes, man, I dig these holes in the ground. Hey, I fill them up with water, and the college kids, they jump off the outbuildings into them, and they holler, glory hole, hot doggone, hey, and that's what did it. Hey, they thought Willie was crazy, I guess, but here's, she wants to know, said the police threatened to put Willie in a concentration camp right there on the spot. And then she says, what happened next? And apparently she was talking about, he was talking about whatever the story is, that Willie was having a hard time concentrating and keeping focus.
Yeah.
He needed to be put in a camp. I'm gonna leave that right there. I ain't trying to get nobody in trouble. Look at him. Oh, hey, but y'all don't believe me. Hey, they all kind of strange stuff going on in this world. Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all something else. Another idea I come up with, man, is reverse speed bumps. Hey, look at him. Hey, I got
Reverse speed bumps.
yeah, I got them set up on my road out here, man. Hey, instead of it being a in the road, it'll be a hole in the road that goes all the way across the road. I know, hey, it's smart. Hey, it's smart. Because what happens is if the car goes across it at 10 miles an hour, they're going real slow. They'd be all right. But if they hit that hole at 15, or it's like a ditch going across the road, they hit it at 15 or 25 miles an hour, it tears up the whole front end. Hey, and it's beneficial too. Yeah. I got a body repair shop right there next to it. Doggone. Hey, it's a win-win situation, man. I'm telling y'all. Reverse speed bumps.
It's called a gutter.
Yeah, no, I call it what you want, but it's like a ditch instead of a speed bump. And people, man, they be more likely to slow down a little bit. They know the car's gonna get all tore up, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, and next week, man, hey, I'm gonna add this to my Willie's Worm Farm Roundtable radio show. I'm gonna start doing an advice column, and people's gonna call in. Hey, for all y'all out there in Radio Land don't know, I got Willie's Worm Farm Roundtable radio. And I broadcast live from the billboards, man, on my CB radio. Hey, I can get out to I-75 and I-10 and I-95, and I get this thing stronger and stronger, man. Hey, I'm going to be worldwide by the time it's all said and done with. Hey, and I'm going to do a Willie's advice column. That's what I'm going to do. Look at him.
There you go. What kind of advice are you going to give people? Good advice?
Yeah, man. Hey, good advice. You know, it's like people want to know what they ought to do with the kids and stuff, man. Hey, lock them in a cage. Yeah, not hey. There ain't nothing wrong
no.
Yeah, not hey. Hey, you know that's what they do in a crib, man. When they put babies in cribs, hey, that is a jail, man. You put them in a jail.
That's a little different, Willie. Come on now.
Hey, it's the same thing, man. You put them in a crib, you put them in a cage, man. Hey, the only difference is you don't put a top on it. Doggone. Doggone.
I strongly disagree with that. I really do. That's just not fair. It's not a prison cell. It's a crib. You know, it's just a little baby crib. It's a safe place for the baby so they don't fall out and get hurt.
Yeah, Aunt Mama Lou just walked in. Hey, real quick, man. Hey,
we got about 10 seconds, Willie. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. Hey, I want to talk to y'all about Nikki Haley, man. Hey, Nikki Haley. Hey, real quick. Hey, did y'all know that?
Okay, really quick, Willie.
Yeah, no, her real name is Nimarata Ranhawa. She says that America isn't a racist country, man. Hey, but she changed her name from Nimarata Ranhawa. Come from an Indian family.
Yeah, Nikki's a little easier to get by with. Anyway, we have to go to break, Willie. We are all out of time. Folks, we'll be right back after this.
All right, we're on radio break.
Oh, God. Dude.
Last thing, Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley wants the retirement age to be 70 years old.
Oh, wow.
That's a true story. Look it up. Googleize it.
That's good to run
No, I
on,
don't
man.
doubt
That's the kind of thing you run on and win, dude.
Yeah. And I swear, I don't know, for a split second, I had a brain cramp. I forgot that Aunt Mama Lou was there. I think she wasn't there.
Oh, that's all right.
Bring me up with the Ralph White Trash family.
I like to think of us more like hillbillies.
No, I like that story that you wrote.
Oh, the sailboat feel is great.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure about that ending or the ending. No, there was a lot of stuff I didn't. A lot of stuff I didn't touch on, like Willie at his funeral. He come up with the idea of people taking the bouquet off of the casket and throwing it into the crowd to decide who's next. Like you do. Willie gonna talk about smart water, but what about dumbass water? And have you heard about Noah Nigga?
Wow,
What?
You haven't talked about Noah Nigga yet? This guy's last name Kenigga. His first name is Noah. He plays football for Lawrenceburg High School.
Okay. Yeah, we probably don't want to talk about that one on the air.
Here's a meme. I don't know who needs to hear this, but did you know that photo enforcement cameras hold 5.5 pounds of copper?
Yeah.
What does? Say that again. What holds copper?
Photo enforcement cameras. That's for all the crackheads out there looking for copper. Willie's thinking about doing that. And what about the states that have committed troops to the Texas border crisis? Exactly what's going on down there now?
I think Texas is committed to them. I haven't heard too much about other states that rings a bell.
No, Alabama, Alaska, Arkansas, Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Iowa, Missouri, Mississippi, Montana, Nebraska, North Dakota, New Hampshire, Nevada, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, and Wyoming all sent troops and supplies down there to the border.
Yep.
And Biden says he's going to send F-15 against them.
And that's our thing. Like, well, we don't need a federal government. We can just do this, but at the state level, and say, hey, if you won't do it, we will. And then eventually, you say, why do we even have a federal government? Like, well, let's just let the states do all this stuff.
But that's what they did. The state government, the Texas National Guard, kicked the Border Patrol out with that one section right there. Yeah. Now these people are coming across and getting arrested, and they're surprised.
And before that, it was the Texas Guard, not National Guard. See, Texas has the Texas Guard and a National Guard, plus the Reserve, plus, all the main big Army bases like Fort Hood down the road from me. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all leased to Texas. Well, from Texas to the federal government. They're on lease. 30 seconds, folks. 30 seconds and we'll be back.
Great show, guys. I appreciate you.
We appreciate you, Willie.
Sure do, man. Take it easy, my brother.
Yep.
Yeah, take it easy.
All right. 3, 2, 1, and you're live right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Hour 2 of the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show. Willie is crazy, man. I just love that guy. I think if I met him in real life, I'd probably run. But, yeah, for a little comedic relief on a Sunday night, I just can't get enough of him.
We love him.
What do you think,
He's
Joe?
really smart. You know what I'm saying? He's smart.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah.
Common sense, he's got a lot of that as well. He's just on the ball.
You just like him because you got a perfect score out of him.
Yeah, I love the fact that he only gave you 45, man.
Well, that's Willie for you.
I think it was a Trump thing. You know, since Trump was 45, he was trying to give you a compliment.
Oh, that could work. I could live with that actually. Oh man. So a lot of stuff going on in the world, and one of the things that again, I just want to talk about because we were talking about all these states sending people down to the National Guard to the Texas border, their National Guards down to the border, and Willie listed off like what 20 states, 30 states that are doing this. We wouldn't need a federal government if we just did all this stuff ourselves as states. And now we have to do it as states because the federal government won't do it. So what do we need the federal government for at this point? Why not just revert all that power back to the states and let the states handle it as best they want to? You want low taxes? Great. You want high taxes? Great. You want legal marijuana? Great. You want abortions for all? Fantastic. Have at it. It should be up to the states.
Mm-hmm.
My personal thought.
States, they've got more power than they realize. I think a lot of times they don't want to exert that power because they don't want to have a confrontation with the federal government, because the federal government's kind of become tyrannical and authoritarian. And now that Texas is kind of standing up and saying, hey, man, we're going to exert our state sovereignty, it may embolden other states to kind of do the same thing and say, hey, man, we've got state sovereignty. Wherever the federal government doesn't have the power, we should be able to decide and do things on our own. And that's the way it should be. But see, if Biden did confront Abbott for, their act of just basically, upholding constitutional rule of law, it would make Biden look even worse. I think that's why they're not willing to have a confrontation, because man, they don't want to come in there bullying around, the authorities in Texas. I think that would be a bad decision for them, because it would look really horrible for them, even worse than they already look now.
Yeah, didn't they just lie and say that people drowned and they kept them out, and it was proved, like when they did the court.
Yeah, they lie all the time. Yeah, exactly. So that's a good point, though. They do. I mean, they want to do anything they can to blame it on demonize. Yeah, they want to demonize opposition. And that's what demons want to do. Demons and devils want to demonize the good people.
Absolutely. It's all biblical, man. It's going biblical on us here. That's how really serious the stuff is getting,
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
It's in biblical.
Yeah, scary times we live in. They truly are. And they don't have to be. That's the thing. They don't have to be. It doesn't have to be this way, folks. We can go back to sanity and normality and family values and just the things that make the world work. Being able to trust, shake your hand with somebody and then you gave them your word. So that's a bond. Now you know you have to do it no matter how much you told someone you would do something. So now you do it. Period. Be it a contract, be it a whatever. I'll pick you up from the mall. Whatever it is. It could be simple. It could be hard. But your word is your bond. That is something that existed in this country for eons. It's going away. People now are so quick. I can't tell you how many people I know that are like, oh, why don't you go get food stamps? Well, no, I don't want food stamps. I don't want them. I grew up in a time when not cool, especially if you're able-bodied and you need food stamps. But now everybody, hey, just go get them. Why wouldn't you go? It's free. Well, no, it ain't free. It's how you destroy a nation, when everybody who's able-bodied and more than willing and able to make a life for themselves is dependent on the government for the most basic thing like food.
Well, that's why volunteerism is so important, right? I mean, that way you don't have to rely on the institutions. You have this volunteerism that happens, private groups that form, I guess, NGO type of groups and stuff that help and pay for hospital bills when people can't pay for them. And churches used to do that back in the day. People were always able to pay their bills because there were always people stepping up to the plate to make sure that was taken care of. And again, that's why I said we'll know when the paradigm shift has completely turned when we have the return of the brotherhood, which just basically means, we're looking out for each other and we're fellowshipping with one another again. And, we are willing to make some sacrifices for our friends and our family and fellow Americans. So when we see that happen, that's going to be the term, because basically right now, everybody's still kind of disconnected, discombobulated, just defeated, but we need to come together.
Yeah, and if you remember back under President Trump, we were having record-breaking everything, and people were coming off of welfare, off of food stamps. There were more jobs than there were for people to fill them. And so you were seeing a lot of people who were dependent going back to work, and they also had a sense of pride, from bringing in that paycheck and taking care of themselves and their own family. And they raised the vibration of the nation. And then, like you were saying, we went through all this COVID stuff, and man, they really sucked it out of everyone. But I think, especially when President Trump gets back in there, we're going to have a return to sanity, and it is just going to raise our whole nation back up again. If you remember, the median household income was up by $6,000. And under Joe Biden, it's down by like $5,000. So thank goodness President Trump brought it up. But I can't wait. I want to get back to that because we were all thriving.
And the cost of living has gone up under Biden. The cost of living's gone up under Biden. Not only wages, not going in the right direction, but the cost of living goes up too. So it's like a double whammy.
Heck yeah.
Yotivation, would you say that under Trump, America was picking up good vibrations?
I've been good vibrations. Yes. For sure. The whole energy of the nation was much more elevated than it is right now. We've been through so much hardship, so many lies. Families have been torn apart from media lies. And so when President Trump says that one of the first things he'd like to do is fix the fake media, I think that would take care of a lot of the issues, because so many people believe the lies, and then family friendships are affected by it. So if we change that source, that's going to change a lot of things and bring us all back together.
Yeah, as we can only hope. So did you guys see Biden flip-flopped on the border the other day?
Again?
Yeah. Well, he said,
somebody a lot lately.
Asked him if the border was secure. He said, no, it's not. No, it's not.
Yeah.
I believe we need significant policy changes in the border, including changes to our asylum system, to ensure that we have the authorities we need to control the border. I'm ready to act. We have the authorities. No, we authority. Anyway, now the question for the House Speaker: are Republicans ready to act as well? They have to choose whether they want to solve or keep weaponizing the issue to score political points against the president. I'm ready to solve the problem. I really am. Massive changes, and I mean it sincerely. But
Joe
what he
Biden
said is,
said,
what he said is asylum. We need to give them all asylum. That's not fixing anything.
No.
That's
Well, he
just
also
giving these
said-
people citizenship.
He also said it today in the news. It was reported on Breitbart that he said he was telling Republicans, he said, stop weaponizing my open border. He admitted it's an open border. I mean, the guy cannot put together a sentence anymore, but I think those are just confessions. Another one of his many confessions, like, extensive and inclusive voter fraud, and that he's not good for much of anything. The only thing he's known for is his sunglasses and, whatever. He tells you the truth. I heard a news reporter make a confession the other day just as well, where they were talking about, how something about the vaccines, how they basically were harmful. And then he corrected himself. It's like the truth is just coming out in ways that they can't even stop it, man. It's like the truth is now this juggernaut that's manifesting in ways that even if they tried to stop it, they couldn't. They would end up spitting it out. The people that are telling the lies will end up spitting it out. That's what I'm saying, just because the truth cannot be stopped. It is, as Yotivation said, we are in a paradigm shift.
Yeah, for sure.
We are, and they're dependent on those people all coming in here, giving them citizenship so they can vote for Democrats. We gave you citizenship. We let you in here. Now vote for us.
Mm-hmm.
It's
think how
crazy.
desperate that is. Think how desperate that is, though. They know that they can't win, so they got to bring in a whole bunch of people, give them a whole bunch of money, so they'll vote for Democrat. Talk about weak and pathetic. I mean, that's as weak, pathetic as you get. And if they think we believe that they're doing it out of compassion, give me a break. You got over like almost 100,000 kids just missing, that many of them are being, child sex trafficked and being used in illegal labor and being abused and being tossed here and there. They don't even have, they're not even with their parents. I mean, these people don't care. The left doesn't care. They're all about winning so that they can maintain that power, that authoritarian power that they have.
Yeah, there was a congresswoman the other day who came out and said basically she needed more people in her district to be able to redistrict it.
Exactly.
She needed more bodies in there. And the way the census works, they don't care if you're illegal, or they just want to know how many heads are in this district, in this area. So
yeah, they don't even hide it anymore. They just tell the truth now. Yeah. It's awesome. I love it.
California's losing seats in the House, but if they can import enough illegals, maybe they can keep some of those. It's sort of an act of desperation. It's an act of desperation.
Yeah, it really is, man. It's that last, from the 5-yard line, a Hail Mary, as they call it, and nobody's gonna catch it. We'll be the ones that catch it, and we'll run it back to the end zone. That's what's going to happen. So, chance they don't have a shot. We just got to stay in the game, and keep resisting the tyranny, because tyranny is obedience to God.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Resistance to tyranny is obedience to God. And, you say that well. It's true.
Well, I wish I was the one that said it, but I think it was one of our founding fathers. So.
Well, yeah, we'll be plagiarizing them.
There you go.
So, here, here's an interesting article from Gateway Pundit. No, the Constitution does not allow children born of non-citizens to become president of the United States, with reference to Nikki Haley. And it goes and gets into all the details of it, but, natural-born citizen is the key. Supreme Court's never ruled on what a natural-born citizen is, but it's the only place in the Constitution where that term is used. And always been, I can go back to my school days. I was taught that natural-born citizen meant simply that both your parents were citizens when you were born here. Right? You're a natural-born citizen. Mm-hmm. 2 parents, they're both citizens, and it prevents a situation like, I don't know, the King of England coming over here with his wife, doing a presto, give birth to them in Hawaii. Right? They have a baby, give birth in Hawaii, turn around, go back to England. The kid never touches American soil again, but he's a U.S. citizen. He was born here, so he's, eligible to be the president, right? No. Right? You can't do that. The King of France can't come over here, have a baby here, and then go back to France, raise the baby to hate America, and then when the baby becomes king, he can also run for president here. It makes no sense.
Speaking of president, I have a question for both you and Yotivation. We were talking about potential vice presidents for Trump. There was a Real Clear Politics poll that came out.
I've got this. Yep, I've got this lined up. Go ahead.
Okay.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, I just want to know what you think, because we were talking about, potential vice presidents. This poll suggests that basically if Trump were to pick Robert Kennedy, it would be a runaway race and he would win over 60% of the vote. Now, would that be something that, Republicans would be okay with? I mean, it would be probably something that would secure Trump's victory. So, but then again, is he too far left, or is he a more moderate liberal? I mean, what do you guys think?
Yotivation, go ahead.
I think he's a Kennedy, and so I think that we should proceed with caution. But I also think you're right, Barry. He would reach, across the aisle to voters that wouldn't typically or normally vote for President Trump. And I actually had mentioned that way early on, that I thought that would be kind of a neat pairing, because I thought that it could kind of bring us back together. but I'm not sure. I have my hopes set on Carrie Lake. I don't know that it's going to happen, but I think she would be my first pick. Although I could get down with Robert Kennedy, I think.
I wouldn't hate it. That article talks about how when Lincoln was going for re-election, he picked a Democrat to run with, and it worked. Now that polling, the interesting thing about it, they have a Trump Kennedy ticket at 60%, and they've got Biden at 30% in that same poll, with about 10% undecided. It's not beating; it's a whooping.
Exactly. I mean, it's about securing the victory. I think if anybody because like you said, there's like uncertainties with him being on the ticket, but at the same time, it secures the win. It secures the win, and it would be very hard for the liberals to steal an election like that, and people buy it, especially because a lot of Democrats would vote for Trump because Robert F. Kennedy Jr. would be the Democrat vice president. They vote for Trump just because of that, because they like him.
Well, he left the Democratic Party, so he's
but he's got liberal values. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's got that Democrat, what do you call it? The bona fides, I guess, would be a way to put it. You know, he's got that instant trust you get from the left because he's a Kennedy. So I don't know. Now, is he that radical? I don't know. But of course, he's part of the Trump ticket, so he'd have to be part of the Trump ticket. And hey, what would you guys do in this situation? Well, we would do this. You know, he's not going to say, oh, yeah, you know, we're going to make abortion legal everywhere. No, it's still the Trump ticket, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't think he would even, like, whoever he picks for vice president will be, you know, just fine. I'm sure he'll make a great choice. But what I'm thinking is Joe Biden's the one who's going to have trouble with the votes because President Trump has already absorbed more voters than he had before. That MAGA base is always a solid 33% or whatever, always.
Yep.
And then people have come from DeSantis, they've come from Vivek, you know, they've come from other people that have dropped out, and they're most of them going to President Trump. A lot of people aren't going to go to Nikki. But now you look at Joe Biden, and then he's going to be running, it seems like, against Cornel West, you know, and maybe some other independent people. And so he's just going to lose votes. They're not going to go to him. People who voted for him last time, a lot of people aren't going to vote for him again this time. So as far as I see it, Joe Biden is the one who is already lost.
I don't disagree with that. I'm just saying that I think it would be harder for them to steal it with a Trump Kennedy ticket. They might be able to convince people that Biden actually won if it was, say, a Trump and I don't know some. It's really would be considered far right.
They just did it to Lake. Yeah. And they just did it to her, so she's already tainted with the whole election denier thing. Right.
Yeah.
So, and again, that 60-30, you can't cheat your way out of those numbers.
No.
Not even close. That's just way too many votes you'd have to it just, I mean, if he's getting over 60%, that's like in the hundreds of millions of votes. Now what? It's going to be Trump got 110 million, but Biden got 120 million.
They would say that. I know they would. They've tried to.
Well, they try to. I mean, suddenly that's like more people, that's more votes than we have voters in the whole country by far,
Yeah.
And then you think about it, the Democrats are only losing people. They're not coming to them because they have that walk away, Dems for President Trump. There's all kinds of people that are leaving the Democrat Party. I just don't know where they're going to get more Antifa people, more Black Lives Matter, which was a crap, that just fell completely apart.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff. So let's talk a little bit about Fani Willis, by the way, because we've got about a few minutes left before we have to wrap up, and I definitely want to touch on this story. What what a joke! I mean, she's pulling a RICO case against like every lawyer that ever came anywhere near Trump. RICO, trying to throw these guys in jail for their lives. I mean, you name it. And it turns out she hired her boyfriend, paid him like $100 an hour more than what the going rate was for other people in that position. And then allegedly they took all these vacations together. This guy's wife, her sugar daddy, her boyfriend, whatever, I guess she's the sugar mama, was going through a divorce right now, and they called Fannie Willison to testify in the divorce proceedings, and she's trying to countersue, and I won't go there and whatnot. But the wife released a bunch of credit card statements proving all this stuff. Well, I mean, again, we're talking about lawyers here, so allegedly proving that all this stuff happened. And she is just starting to look the fool. It's starting to look like potentially they took COVID money to pay this guy. And so it's just getting out of control. And it just goes to show the corruption in the system, especially from the people that are so willing to go after Trump at any means possible. By any means possible, get him out of office, get him out of power, put him in jail. We don't care. Just get him out of the way. Those are the orders. Joe Biden is doing this. He's going after, his DOJ is going after Trump, his political opponent, in every way they can. Joe Biden's DOJ is going after Trump supporters in every way they can to intimidate them so that they never feel safe to show up at a rally again, ever. Why? Well, you might go to jail for the rest of your life in solitary confinement for a year with no trial. For 3 years. It's disgusting where this country is right now. Just absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, especially when it was the corrupted federal government that entrapped those people into the January 6th Fedsurrection. And they had
that was. And we've got records, folks. We've got records. We've been doing this radio show for years now. So if you want to go to the show we did just before January 6th, go dig it up. Listen to what we said. And I told people, don't go there. Don't go to Washington, D.C. It's a trap. You remember that, Yo?
Oh, yeah. And we still had friends who did go.
Yeah. And they got orders from the FBI.
Yeah.
So, just for showing up there.
They're probably still being, because we just found out that the banks are turning over information to the intelligence agencies.
Mm-hmm.
Without taking into consideration our Fourth Amendment right to privacy.
Yeah, what's that? Bass shop? Bibles?
Yeah, purchase. Yeah. You're a potential terrorist.
That is.
Imagine that, man.
Horrifying.
That's biblical. I mean, we live in a world now where buying a Bible is seen as scary.
Get you on a watch list.
Absolutely nuts, man. They certainly don't believe in the First Amendment. That's the First Amendment. It's protection, religious protection, free speech protection, and they don't even think about it. They don't even believe in the First Amendment, the numero uno, number one amendment. What do they believe in? And if you don't have free speech, and if you don't have the right to, believe what you want to believe and practice the faith that you believe, you don't have a free country. Period.
Yeah.
No.
No rights, you have privileges.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they just basically, just hone it out on occasion. Oh, well, maybe we'll let you do this. Maybe we'll let you do that. Maybe, most everything they do is now by force of some kind, making us just be obedient. And I'm not for that, man. That's why I never wore the mask. That's why I never got the shot. It was funny on the Australian Open today, well, it was yesterday, but Novak was playing, Mr. Unvaxxed Novak. And some wokester from the crowd shouted, get vaccinated, mate. And it kind of broke him up a little bit. And he looked up there, was like trying to quiet everybody down. And then it was match point. It was match point when he said that. And then he aced the guy to win the match. It was so awesome, man.
And I hate this story. It's not like funny or anything, but one of the biggest critics of Jovic was a news color commentary guy that covered sports, and
Yep.
literally one of his biggest critics literally dropped dead the other day at that Open.
Yeah, he
Just
was the one that wanted
passed out and died.
Novak to not be able to even be able to play, right? Just to cancel him completely out of all the tournaments and never be able to play again. And yeah, I don't wish that upon anybody. I mean, it's bad, but it's like the vaccination is dangerous, man. I mean, we have the all-cause mortality rates now, and we're looking at 17 million to possibly 20 million dead by the shot, folks. That's real. Go look it up. Go look it up.
And I know somebody, and I'll keep this very vague. I don't want to get specific who it is or what, but he has a couple grandkids. A couple of years back, he said, "Hey, I'd love to come out and see the grandkids." And his son asked him, "Are you vaccinated?" "No." And he still can't go out there. His son let him come and visit.
Well, you saw what Tracy Atkins said, didn't you? Tracy Atkins said, "Oh man, I don't believe all that, fear about the vaccine." He goes, "I'll take all the vaccines. Give me every vaccine you have. I want them all. Give them all to me." I mean, that's dangerous talk, man. That is dangerous talk. And I don't want him taking that shot. I don't want him taking a bunch more boosters. I don't want to see him, even though I probably politically disagree with him, I don't want to see him hurt. I don't wish hurt or pain or suffering upon my enemy. I wish justice on the people that are doing criminal activity, though.
Exactly.
Legal and lawful justice through the court system.
And the best way out of that is for us to inform ourselves, because that whole time people were believing that COVID could kill people when that never was true. And those vaccines, air quote vaccines, were always unnecessary. Now, like you just said, we have these millions of people who have died from it, from an unnecessary vaccine that had a 99.96% recovery rate without a vaccine. So as they're going into this new X disease, whatever it is, keep that in mind, that defeating our own ignorance is always the surest solution. The people who investigated to know for themselves did not get that vaccine, and they don't have to worry about the side effects of it, and just don't fall for it again going forward.
Exactly, folks. And that's why we're here every week trying to spread the truth as best we can, because, you're not going to hear it elsewhere. You got to come here to get at some of the nitty gritty that's going on behind the scenes, because we cover all that stuff. We do it every week, but we're out of time. So folks, we're going to end the show right here. Love each and every one of you beautiful people. We will see you on Wednesday night.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.
Anyway.
Great show.
All right, man. Woo!
Right.
And that's our show for the radio side. Stay tuned, folks, for more Censorship Sucks post-show.
Now, CS, I've got something for you that I think you'll be interested in. You probably already know about it, but, you've been talking about Fetterman being such a kind of a cool guy since he's, been recovering. Well, now he's kind of freaking out a little bit, and he's saying illegal aliens pouring into the U.S. are threatening the American